Hi, and welcome to this video on how to reuse old NAV code in Business Central. Hi, I'm Eric, and in this video we're going to take some old NAV code and convert it into something that we can use in Business Central. This actually started a couple of days ago when a colleague of mine and I were discussing on how to do some barcode printing in Business Central, and we remembered that, hey, there used to be something where you just generated generated a barcode directly in AL or CAL code in NAV, and we found the code, so it's right here, and this is made by Robert DeBarth. So shout out to him. That was an awesome piece of code he wrote at that time. It's 11 years old, so it's clearly not for Business Central. This is for some version of NAV, and we can actually pretty easy get this to work in Business Central. That's what I'm going to show today. So I downloaded this. I got it right here in, let's see if we can make this a bit bigger. I got it here. He was nice enough to both supply the objects in FOB and in text format. So if we open barcode 39 text in Notepad and get into the screen here, that we can see that's just the old NAV text format. There's a report and there's a code unit. So I'm gonna get rid of the report, because reports is a whole other discussion, converting old reports. So I'm not going to get into that in this video anyway. So we'll just have the code unit here. There's a lot of stuff going on in that, so I'll save that. What Microsoft did was create a tool called, I'm just gonna type it out here, called Text2AL. So Text2AL is basically a tool that will take objects, NAV objects in .txt format and turn it into AL. And we can see that we need to supply a source path and a target path, and we can do a lot of other things here. We don't need to, so I'll just skip that. This tool is out of the BC version 14 installation image. So I'm just gonna say that source equal the folder. Actually, before we do that, let's create a folder called AL. And then let's do this and say source equal dot and target equal AL. Done. Now we have in the AL folder, we have a barcode file, barcode.al, and a translation file. So what I have done before I hit record on the video was I created an empty project and a new extension. I created a quick table with a barcode field and a barcode blob field in this case, subtype here, and a page with those two fields on to show them, in order for not to waste your guys' time looking at me typing in a page and a table. There's other videos where I show you that. So let's copy this stuff. We'll just copy the, we don't need the translation, so let's just copy, not there, but video 8, I think is the name of the folder. There you go. So now this one came in here, and right off the bat we can see that, hey, there's errors. So let's look at the problems. The application object identifier 99944 is not valid, must be in the range of our extension, and table 2 billion something is missing. Okay, let's take a look at it. Yeah, let's put this code unit into our number series that's allowed in this extension, and that is right now 50,300. So that error went away. And then this function will take picture of record 2,000,000,001, and that's the object table. So that's probably a hack to get a blob field, since this code was actually written before the temp blob construction was there. We can take a look and see we are using it here. So actually let's modernize this for a second and simply get rid of this parameter. That's probably the easiest way, and promote this variable, the stream, to a parameter instead, like that. And then we don't need it down here anymore. Whoops. So, and then we don't need to create it because it's already created, so we don't need to this. And actually what's happening here is that it did a doubled allocation to sort of allocate the space. We're just going to ignore that for now, so let's get rid of that. And then the next thing that triggers my my suspicion is that it uses the char variable type. So one of the difference between old NAV and Business Central is that old NAV was running in ASCII mode or code page mode. So it was an 8-bit character set. And now Business Central is Unicode, so it's a 16-bit character set. So if we use char, we might get into some sort of trouble. And the easiest way to do this is simply Control H and replace char with byte, because byte is a true 8-bit construct. So we'll do that. And this one is a byte, black and white is a byte, and there are no more arrows here. So let's go back to our test page for a second, and let's create a function that will actually create a barcode. So let's trigger on action, and we need a variable of the barcode unit that we just imported, and we know that we changed the function to get a stream, so we need to give it an outstream also as a parameter. So whenever working with blob fields, that's actually kind of legacy. You should use a media set typically, but I used a blob here in anyway. So blob fields need to be not calc dated, but calc fielded. I call it barcode picture, and then I will, and it's not always, it's the calc field is not always needed, but I just calculate anyway, because then it's calculated if I need it in this case. So I get a stream, and then we go to our code unit, and it has 3 functions: make barcode, add quiet, set DPI. And I took a peek before, and apparently it works best if you do 48, 90, 600, and I think it was 800 or 900 or something like that. And add quiet true. That's the barcode thing. You look into that. So make barcode, we change the parameters, so it needs a text, and we'll just grab the barcode field from our test table here, and then it needs a stream. We just created that, and something extended, and we'll set true to that. So now the barcode code unit will load whatever it creates directly into the blob field. So after this, we need to modify rec. So we'll do that. Then I think we're done, actually. Let's hit F5, see if this compiles. It did. Let's see if it publish. There we go. And I need to log into Business Central. And let's create a new 1000 here. And we can see the plus sign means that here's the photo. And we had an action create barcode. I'll click it, and bam, we got a barcode. Let's add a new record here. Let's see if we can do Eric, because this was 3 of 9 or barcode 39. Create barcode. We did, and the barcodes clearly look different. So that's how we use old NAV code in Business Central. Let's go back and take a quick look at our project here. So we took some old code from Mibuso, wonderful website. There's plenty of both old stuff like this, but tons of stuff on Business Central. So go have a look on Mibuso if you don't, if you never visited. It's a treasure chest of useful information. So we downloaded this. We use the text to AL to convert the text type objects into AL. Not all objects can be converted this easily, because usually the text to AL requires that the text file are exported with new syntax, so there might be some cleanup on, especially on flow fields and stuff like that, if that's what it is. This is just a code unit, so it's pretty easy. We converted, then we imported that into our solution, cleaned up the old reference to a table with a blob field, because this was created before temp-blob, and actually instead of just using temp-blob, I went straight to the stream part instead. We changed the char reference to byte, because now we're in Unicode, so we need to specify that the pixels are actually done in 8-bit instead. I can actually show you if you want to see. We can do byte, change to char, and let's compile. And go back to this one. We'll create a new one. So we keep these two ones. Let's create a new one called test 1000. Action, create barcode. And that's a nice looking barcode, but the background is gray. And the reason for that is that now char is not, we can see that the background here in the code was supposed to be white equal to 255. But suddenly this is a char, and it's complicated, because the char is no longer, it's just a character, but we're in Unicode. So we need to go back and say char must be bytes in this case. This might not be the case in all you find other code that works on it from a character perspective, then char is the right one, but in this case we have to change to byte for it to work. So that's it. That's one example of grabbing some 11-year-old code and in just a few minutes converting it into something that we can use directly in Business Central. So if you like stuff like this, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel, put your comments down below if there's anything you want me to look at, or hit me on Twitter if there's something you want to talk about. And until next time, stay safe and have a wonderful time.